Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You may notice we have jumped straight into a stream. There was no countdown for tonight's show. That is because Kieran Wright, 92, our lead commentator and master whiz with the computer, is unfortunately not with us tonight. He has been called away for work and unfortunately cannot be here tonight. And they've done a silly thing. They've left this Leeds comms chair unguarded. So, I'm hopping into it. And you have got me, TES Swayze, all night through. Hopefully to be joined by Dom, who can hopefully fill in my shoes while I'm filling in Kieran's shoes. That's a mouthful. But, nevertheless, we are here. It is a Saturday night, which means only one thing. It is time for Supreme Formula Racing, SFR, here tonight, live at Bahrain for round 7 of the championship. Whew! Bahrain, we came here pre-season. The drivers have had quite a bit of time to get used to this track. Maybe raced it elsewhere in other leagues. So, definitely we will be expecting a show tonight. Of course, Constant Ryan has had a bad race last weekend. Last time that happened, he came back phenomenally strong and took the win. Will history repeat itself? We don't know. But what we do know is we are not too far away from going into qualifying. That is for sure. Let me just, I've got to get the stream up myself. Aha. If it is live, I'm just checking on my pad so that I can make sure everything is working correctly. And that is the question. Are we live? I hope we are. It says we are. It didn't go live the very first time that I did start it. So I'm trying to get it bloody on. Restart my Twitch on my pad. I have not been able to open Twitch. It's probably because I signed out, to be honest. I have to sign back in on this pad. Give me 1 second, because I just want to get the chat box open for all you out there, so that I can acknowledge you all. Here we go. Excellent. I now have the chat box. So, and hopefully with a little bit of luck, and we'll just quickly check, see if he is now on, or whether he's still showing us on Netflix. We can get in Mr. Dom the Noodle, who unfortunately is not feeling too great today and will not be taking part in tonight's race. But he has volunteered to help out in the commentary box tonight. So, should hopefully appear at some point. He does have an invite. But if he doesn't, we will march on anyway. Good evening, Mr. Carbon Gaming TV out there in the chat, and good evening everybody else. I am now up to full capacity. Well, as full as I can be working on my own, but you know, we'll see what happens. Looking forward to tonight. Alpaca Carbon is here. Hopefully we'll see a good performance from him, or the current championship leader maybe, TES Leclerc, maybe picking up another race win. The Aston Martins have been running strong as of recent. What about Antov Beacon though? Antov Beacon had some amazingly strong performances. Been unlucky with on-track penalties. Is tonight going to be his night? No, Rapid, you can't sleep. You need to be wide awake. Will it be Cam? Is tonight Cam's night? Good evening, Chloe. Good evening out there, Alfie. And, oh, look at that. Yes, Rosberg. Good to see him back in a car in SFR. That is for sure. Will we get any more surprises? Will Constant Ryan probably reign supreme? He does do Constant Ryan things, you know. It has been known. I think we're just waiting on a few more drivers. Well, the clock might be ticking. I can't really tell. Oh, it is. I can tell because I can see it on the stream. What am I talking about? Yeah, I can't tell on my TV screen though because that's where my actual Twitch bar is. Just to explain my confusion. Now you know why. But the clock is ticking. We are getting underway with qualifying here in round 7 for the SFR Championship in Bahrain. Exciting times. Like I said, we came here for pre-season and there's no reason the drivers should not know how to drive this track tonight, which is a track that generally provides amazing races anyway. Always that opportunity to go deep into the brakes with a DRS down that long straight. Of course, a few changes. Sector 2 can be quite deadly now. And of course, that infamous corner as you come round the right-hander on the long sweeper at turn 3, also known sometimes as Roland's corner, spin it corner, bin it corner, oh shit, I touched that curve again corner. And of course, if that happens, will we get our first chance to see the Aston Martin safety car in SFR? We were at, of course, this Monday night just gone at a track for the Tier 2 race from Russia, and we didn't get to see it. We had a clean race. Of course, tonight is the first night with SFR officially having a Tier 1. So this is, of course, welcome to Tier 1, everybody now. You are all now Tier 1. Of course, you all know this. But hi, Sarah. I think. But as I am just now being joined by Mr. Dom the Noodle, who will make himself known on stream. You will have to tick the box because this is being broadcast through the Xbox.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is unfortunate that I have to be here tonight, but it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Dom, for offering your services. It is appreciated. Of course, it is a much easier job to do when you have someone to bounce off of.
100%. I mean, I've had to do solo comms before, and it sucks. You just end up rambling for most of the time, and you don't really get a chance to take a drink either.
That is true. No, you can't help a good refreshment break. I rely on Kieran for those moments.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kieran relies on those moments, but yeah.
Yeah, as well.
As standard
Kieran's got
as well.
a charm about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. As standard as well. So let's go the first driver out on track. Why am I not surprised?
Noodle is crackling.
Oh, that's the Twitch error. But give me a second, I'll sort that out.
Hopefully. Let me just check what sort of volume I don't know whether if I turn you up on mine, whether it would affect that. Try that, see if that makes it any better. I don't know. Your name has been mentioned because your name is always missed. That is why, Kieran. But of course, cars are now out on track for their outlaps. We need to get up the delta. We need to catch up to the action on track.
Correct,
Who
because
is on
Lesko will
hot
be the
tyre?
first to start a lap, first driver out, as always. Also, if you would fancy keeping an eye on the lead car, I'll keep an eye on Will.
Yep, because Let's Go is on stream. Out there, it looks like everybody is out there on the softs, but of course it is full qualifying, so why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, and the strategy here is a weird one. You've got the medium hard option, but apart from that, it's otherwise a medium soft or a soft medium soft. You never really finished on the mediums yet. And knowing that this track can claim a few lives in the first few laps, maybe starting on the softs is a better option.
Well, if there's a safety car, you always get that free pit stop chance then. And yes, they do, Chloe. He is. He is hard shoes to fill, isn't he?
Oh, Kieran's not an easy set of boots to fill.
That's for sure. But kids, let's go now. Coming round into sector 3. Obviously will be purple. Still a valid lap. Just there's a Red Bull coming down this straight that he has to negotiate. What sort of times do you think we're expecting tonight, Dom?
I'd say in Q3 you're looking at 26s. This early on, I don't think you'll see one. Purely based on.
You reckon? 20. I was just about to say. Would you still have said that because I haven't driven them myself, but obviously they've changed the cars recently with the performance patch, so your times might be a little out if you've not been back to the track since.
Yeah, no, I had a race there last night, I think it was actually, and we were hitting the 26s in qualifying. I think our pole time was a 26.2, so it'd be interesting to see if these drivers can hit that exact number.
These drivers, have you ever seen the times right now between Kids Let's Go and Beacon and TES Big Will? Look at that.
Yeah, all within.
That's incredible.
I'll bring the gap up. It's 2 thousandths of a second between Kislesko and Antiv Beacon, and 18 thousandths of a second between Kislesko and Big Will.
That's incredible.
So we haven't even broken the 1/10 of a second gap in the top 3. TS Sambo hitting what I would call the realistic performance Williams lap time. Whether or not he can improve on that or not, I could not tell you.
I'd like to hope he can. You know, I remember Sambo. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, he's not always had the best of. What's the word I'm looking for? Luck. We'll go with luck. But you know, in previous games, he's always had speed in him, and I think he seems to be struggling a bit with this game.
Yeah, I mean, from what I, have been told, he was pretty quick, last season. Before
Mate, he's been
he decided to, before he decided to turn all of his assists off, but he turned all of them off too quickly, in my opinion, and that's what's really killed his lap times. I mean, I've started turning them, down one by one. Now on no traction, but I've still got my ABS on, and if I'm not mistaken, Sambo took, all of the assists he could off straight away, which doesn't quite help. Especially in a game like this where it's, last season you could put 50% brake bias and not lock up the riz, but this one, you drop anywhere beneath 56 in towards the 55, 54 range, and you are going to lock the back end up and spin into a corner.
Well, probably not Sambo. You got to remember he will probably be using ABS.
I'm not too sure. I think he has turned it back on now, but I think maybe for a peace of mind, especially on this game, one of the harder ones to pick it up on, it's definitely worth putting that medium on, because I turned it off when I first started racing on this game. In fact, I turned all of my assists off and realised I was a lot slower than the last game. Put my previous assists on, which was ABS medium traction, and I was still a bit slower, but that's what the cars are like. And then obviously I turned my traction back down once I got a little bit more comfortable with the cars, and it was just easier to transition.
It's nice, but that's you. And tonight, because you're not driving, you got to be, instead of being the focus, you've got to focus on them.
Yeah, quite right.
And we are now on board with TS. Well, I am on board with TS Leclerc, who's just started his first flying lap attempt.
And did Beacon
Did
into
I
the
just improve?
26s? Yeah, he did.
Putting some laps into those softs, of course, but they probably will get thrown away.
Yeah, you really only want to use.
One.
Yeah, you really only want to use one set of tires in this qualifying. Like I said, the soft, medium, soft is really crucial option. So if you can keep a set of softs for the race, then that's a brilliant idea.
Kirby just set the 1 lap on him, or 2 laps on him, and retired. Of course, with only I think everyone goes through anyway, don't they?
Yeah, I believe
in this
so.
situation.
Yeah, because it's 16,
Purple
17, 18,
too.
19, and 20 that go down. So, and they've been on 15.
Oh, Leclerc is testing the limits of the track there, all the way down there. With purple in 1, purple in 2. That's close. 1:27.1 for Leclerc.
Yeah, it's a great lap time. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he improves on it in Q3. Q2 is going to be crucial for the drivers tonight because starting from the back isn't an easy adventure. You also don't want to start from the middle. Starting from the middle does leave you a lot more open and at a lot more risk of, being hit. And turn 1 could be a mess here.
It's a lot more fun. That's what it is.
It can be fun, for definite, but I mean, like I said, turn 1 here is like turn 1 at Monza. The distance to the first corner isn't the same, but the track's wider into turn 1. However, you've got 4. You can go 3 wide into a corner in which
it's not.
you can only
I
fit
don't think it's
2
as bad
through.
as Mexico. And I mean, I like this start of the track. I feel you can run. I think you feel you can run 3 wide through all the way through there, really, if you wanted to. As long as you had 3 decent drivers, who was aware and had trust in each other, I think you could be done. Definitely 2.
You can get 2 through there, but 3 is, it's one of those cases of you could end up in a situation you don't want if you go 3 wide. So you've got all these drivers, bombing down into turn 1. I think you can even go 4 wide down and then straight too, if you will, puddle in a little bit. But so if you do go 4 wide into turn 1, you do have to find a way to.
Garmin just coming up to the line, sorry, but here did purple sector 2 slotting in.
E3.
Right behind his teammate. Look at that for the Aston Martin drivers.
About 0.08 of a second too.
Let's just have another quick look at those gaps, because tight out there, really tight. It's shaping up to be, well, I hope to be a fantastic race. I mean, something that I went back to earlier on before you joined us was the fact that obviously we came here in pre-season testing. So all the drivers should have a great knowledge of this track.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones because also it's at the start of the career as well. So if you restart your career 4, 5, 6 times because you're just unhappy with the way it goes, or you get bored or something like that, it's one of the first ones you come to. But yeah, the knowledge of the track shouldn't be too poor, if I'm being honest. It'll be interesting to see as to whether or not anyone does lose out due to not practicing it as much as others, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Rosberg there from 1:31.5. Now I know it's great to see Rosberg back, but I also know that I believe within this week just made the change to the wheel. So it is a learning experience. I know from my personal experience when I made the change, you get slower before you get faster.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I swapped from controller to wheel, and that was a massive change. I was about a second or two slower. Now I'm 3 or 4, 5 seconds faster than I was on the controller. So
Not bad.
he's currently invalidated this lap as well.
Christo though, into 8th for 1:28.3. I mean, they don't need to get a rapid time on the board now. They just need to. What? Do they actually need to even get a time on the board? Can you just retire, or would that put you?
I think you do have to get a time on the board. If I'm not mistaken, but I mean, there's only 15 drivers. I can't see anyone being dropped out.
Cam is out there at the moment on a lap.
Yeah, Vapid the same.
On a lap?
Yeah, he's coming down down to the final corner now, or the final 2 corners now. Because if I'm not mistaken, they do both count as individual corners. What's the line?
1:28.2.
Yeah, 1.2 off the.
I don't think
leader.
he was pushing, or if he was, it's not pushing enough. Right, where is Cam? He will be coming to the line shortly. Into 3rd with 27. Look at that, 0.74092. That is one spicy mid-ball.
Let me open up the.
Is he pad tonight? Oh, okay,
check.
right. Thank you, J-Matt. Okay, I've been corrected. He's actually driving on the pad tonight, but he is learning the wheel because he's only just got it.
Being Rosberg, is it? Or Vapid? I know Vapid's got a wheel.
No, that's Rosberg that I was just talking about then.
Okay.
Yeah, within the last week, so yeah. But he's on the pad tonight. But it is still good to see him back racing though, because he's been out for a while. We're just waiting, got Constant Ryan, who's now out on an outlap. I mean, you race with these guys week in, week out. Who's your money on for pole, Dom?
Oh, for pole. It's going to be between one of the big 3, if I'm being honest. Big 4 maybe, if you want to add another few drivers, another driver in. It's probably going to be between Beacon, Vapid, Constant Ryan, and Leclerc. All of which are really strong drivers, all of which have got the ability to put out on pole. If anything, I'd say Jamie is less of a quality guy in in SFR, more of a race pace guy, and he can do really well at it. He's stolen wins from a fair few drivers that have put it on pole. So
yeah, well, I know Vapid did improve. When just waiting for. I think Ryan just got to do what was on a lap now, or he was invalidated on his last one. It might have been an outlap. But in the meantime, Vapid, he snuck one in really, you've seen it now, 0.818, 0.74092 for Cam. Vapid and Cam, those two are always near each other, always having a battle.
yeah, and at some point,
last year.
Yeah, and to be fair, they do really well at it, but there's only a certain amount of time you can go side by side each other and know how each other drives, because one day you're gonna, pre-assume that someone's gonna do something and they're not quite gonna do it the way they usually do. Just trying to off, and it could cause a massive incident.
I tell you a driver who I've been really impressed with as of recent. Generation A. He's had some amazing stints. What a stint that he did the other week on the hard tyres was incredible to keep up the way he did, especially with his teammate Constant Ryan. But yeah, he's a driver that's really impressed me lately. What do you think of him as a driver? Obviously, you race with him.
Great driver. Great. Yeah. No. I mean, I've not really raced too much side by side with him. Great driver, respectful for death, and he's not going to throw something up the inside that's going to risk both races. But he will, he will threaten to, and that's what's going to put you off. And if it puts off your race, technically he hasn't done anything wrong by making a dangerous move. So, it's one of those things. He's a driver to look out for, especially on track, because like I said, he can throw something up the inside if he wants to, and he will threaten to, but it'll end up forcing you wide, and he'll take the position a corner or two later. Or like we saw in Austria, he'll take a position from someone in a place we just don't overtake. It's just common knowledge. Otherwise, someone is going to have an accident. But he stuck with it. Was respectful to the driver he was overtaking. I can't quite remember who it was off the top of my head. But, both drivers were respectful, and he came out ahead.
Fair enough. As Ante Beacon there for 126.881. I was just watching him come down there. You said he was one of them tonight, but you mentioned 3 or 4. You got to back one. Which one?
I'm probably going to go with Beacon tonight. Like I said, he's really quick. He might be my teammate, but I mean, look at his pole record so far. I think he's been the pole driver more times than any other driver, and that makes him a great asset.
I mean, I know Constant Ryan's had a bad race. I've just got that feeling he's toying with us at the moment.
Yeah, and I think he could be. And if Stenner had turned up as well.
But tonight I'm going to put my money on. I'm going to go with Alpaca Carbon. Actually, I think for some reason. I don't know.
He's another great driver.
I'm just feeling him tonight.
Another great driver. Almost had pole in the Tier 2 race at Russia recently. That was stolen away by me. My bad. I have apologised to him for it for a while, ever since. But yeah, he's a strong driver, very, very clean. Isn't going to put himself or others at risk. He knows that there's, a bigger game being played here, and it's not, the one lap sprint that you and him are going to have. He'll tally up here.
You don't really believe in short answers, do you, Dom?
No, I know, but I mean, it keeps things going, especially seeing as we're going into a break now.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, he'll tally up your penalties versus his if he has any, and take that risk if he needs to. If not, he'll wait for the DRS and slip up your inside.
As we have been joined there just at the end of Q1 by Riva, I believe.
Yeah, he also managed to get into his car. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to get out. He won't be able to get out, so I don't think he'll get through to the next session.
He won't get through anyway because he's got no time, and all the other 15 cars do. No, apart from Adam Lee. But
For some reason, it does seem to be letting him go out.
Yeah, what? That is a little bit weird.
Yeah, there you go. He had to retire from the session.
Of course, Antibeacon 126.881. Just look how tight that is, all the way down. Gee, there's not even a second before to 10th.
No, and that's what we like about SFR is, there's battles everywhere, and just because you don't happen to be the fastest on the grid doesn't mean you're not going to have competition. And with top 15 getting points every weekend, it means that...
Yeah, but you don't necessarily need to be the fastest, because when you're talking gaps like that, you can guarantee that means that somewhere in front of you, if you're not at the front, somewhere in front of you, somebody is battling somebody. And while somebody is battling somebody, they're not driving at flat out speeds. So you always have got that opportunity to close the gap.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been mentioned by Jamie himself. He's proud of how everyone's been this season. It's been a great season, and he's loved it. And if I'm not mistaken, it's only round 7. So we do have a fair few more races to come. But yeah, he's he's proud of everyone, and I followed it up with, it's been great racing. I've seen battles for P15 in some races. And some people would be like, oh, well, P15 doesn't matter, it's not points, but it is here, and that's what makes this league as interesting as it is.
Speaking of interesting, let's get that tyre choice up on screen. see what people are opting to go out for. I mean, you seem to think that the soft might be the favoured starting tyre tonight.
It could be.
Because
It could well
Lesko
be.
has gone straight out on them softs.
Yeah, there's a few drivers in SFR that get referred to as George Russell. And not because, they're ridiculously quick in a slow car because it's equal performance, but to get through into Q3, like myself every week, I have to use the soft tyre. No matter what tyre anyone else uses, it has to be the soft. And there's a few other drivers, and if Kozlesko runs the softs and it gets him into Q3, then fair play to him. But if he could have sacrificed a set of mediums early on, then maybe it'd have been worth it.
But we do now have Alpaca Carbon out as well, and he has opted for the mediums. Tom Gorin's out on an outlet on the softs. And Dev Beacon's on the mediums. Sambo's on the softs. But yeah, Sambo might be like one of those drivers where if he's got any chance of getting through to the top 10, he's gonna have to use the softs to do it.
Yeah, and getting into Q3 can be, a great experience. The top 10 fastest drivers of the night all going at it for one position. But on the other hand, it can waste tyres. You will go out and you will scrub tyres that you just don't need to. So sometimes going out in Q2 is better because you can just reserve those tyres. So yeah, Sambo's definitely, unfortunately, one of those drivers that will need to use the softs, but he has put them on, and it'll be interesting to see what lap time he can do.
For sure, well, Kozlesko is the lead car. I think we can go on board actually. See how much curb you are. You see, not using the curb there, those curves through there are full on lethal, I believe.
A lot of the curbs in here are quite dangerous.
Nice downhill braking.
Yeah, a lot of them are quite dangerous.
Nice smooth up throttle appliance there from Kozlesko.
I don't quite know if Anton Beacon is close enough to the car behind to give a tow.
Keep him well away from that right inside curb there, Kozlesko. Another corner where it's very easy to drop the car. Kozlesko coming round now. Of course, first car over the line for qualifying 2, and it is a 1:28.7 on the softs. Definitely not the best. Who do you reckon is going to be next? It's going to be one of the McLarens, isn't it? Is it Big Will?
It's Big Will? Big Will, I believe.
He is on the medium tyre. 1:28.8. That is really close to Kozlesko's time, as the times are flying in as Kirby crosses just behind on a 1:29.3. And then Alpaca Carbon with a 1:28.351 on the mediums. That's a great lap time from Alpaca Carbon.
Yeah, and it's only going to get faster from him as well. He might go
Sambo comes across. 29.1 on the softs. Who is next? Alpha Romeo. Is it Tom Gorian? It is Tom Gorian.
It is.
He runs the final corner.
If I'm not mistaken, he's the
41.
ex-Red Bull driver as well.
A real slow lap for Tom Gorian there, though.
Yeah, Anton Beacon has
looking strong at the moment, though.
Yeah, he is. He is definitely looking to.
And Ante is invalidated. So
yeah, he invalidated his first
now...
lap. He's invalidated the second, so he might come in and strap the softs on. Not 100% sure just yet.
Depends on how much life you want to take out of them, doesn't it? And still start on them.
It's a weird one. Starting on the softs here can lead
to... again? No, he's gone in the pits.
Yeah, starting on the softs here can lead to really high tyre wear for the first few laps. I mean, you can be looking at anywhere between 8 to 14% tyre wear before you even finish your formation lap. So really got to treat them right in qualifying.
Oh, I do love the colour of that Aston Martin, and it's like it's a fading night time. Of course, Leclerc just coming to the end of section 1. He's on the mediums. It's a purple section 1 from Leclerc. Hop on board as he comes down to the hairpin. See if he toys with the track limits in that sector 3 like he did earlier. I don't know if you saw it, Dom. He was really toying with the track limits down that back straight.
Yeah, I think I caught just at the end of it, and he was, still halfway off the track. So, I mean, he's not afraid to push and test tracks. He's shown this several times.
Oh, look at that! How close he got to that inside curve. That is brave stuff. Purple sector 2. Look at it. Look, still over the curb. Look, still over the white. Look at it.
Yeah, it leads up. You can, ride the entry curb on the left-hand side for the final corner a lot.
That's knowing where the limits are and knowing how to use them. That's great track knowledge, and of course it shows right there with a 127.837 on the medium tyre. That's quite a statement, wouldn't you say, Dan?
Yeah, and to find that much comfort on the mediums that early in qualifying. I mean, I've seen drivers go out on mediums with the last, 2 minutes just so they've got enough time to get a lap in. And still struggle for grip, because track evolution on this game is great, but on this track is poor. So for him to be putting in times like that this early on is quite surprising, actually.
I was going to go on board with Cam, but he is on an invalid lap. Generation A is only on an out lap.
And if Beacon on an out lap on his mediums.
Yeah, but he's behind. I think it's going to be Cam if he stays out. Nope. He is going to box. So it is going to be Generation A.
Who starts in that first?
So I'm on board with Generation A. See how his lines differ from that of that incredible pole time we've just seen. Of course, it's not the actual pole, just pole for Q2, but Generation A, I feel like he's a real strong driver, and I mean he's got a teammate off that he can really learn from as well, though, in Constant Ryan.
Yeah, again, a fast driver, scary to drive against, not based on the fact that he's got poor racecraft, but because he's just so quick. You don't get the traction out of the corner early enough, and he will pass you. And hopefully he's gonna, teach Generation A a little bit of how he gets the lap times he does.
Well, he's looking okay through 1. See where he is. Not quite as close to the curb, but it's still showing as purple. Will he extract the same amount of speed? Obviously, he's a bit further to the right, obviously, more into the track than what Leclerc was, but he was purple in 1, purple in 2. Oh, I just lost it. That shows you how much more speed Leclerc was able to extract by using the track like that.
Yeah, it's just about making your lines as wide as you can, and if you've got a really wide entry, you can, really throw it into the corners, and with that, you've got the ability to sort of just say, right, well, I've done it, I've thrown it in, and hopefully I can get a decent apex.
And the beacon is invalidated as Rapid set himself into 4th place there with a 28.4. But I mean, just back to Generation A there, still one hell of an effort.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's really great to see these drivers going for it. No one giving an inch of what they're made of. It's Antiv Beacon has put invalid laps in because he's really pushing the limits of the car, and that's nice to see. Seeing drivers really test the system.
There's on an in lap. Is anybody actually on a lap?
Yeah, Cam is now on a lap.
Well, I'll stay with Cam because we know he's one of those drivers that can pop a lap from nowhere. And as I say that, he goes purple in 1. Looks like he's carrying some speed down the hill. That's hard, that corner now, to get a good exit out of for the climb up the hill.
Yeah, Sector 2 is a lot of trust in the car, less in your ability. You can be the fastest driver in the grid, but if you don't trust your car to stick to the tarmac, you will struggle to get a good sector in.
For sure. Where is he going to be? Still purple through 2.
I think there's a glitch here.
Either that or they are losing that much time in Sector 3. We'll have a look. I mean, there wasn't that. I mean, Leclerc Generation A is that close that he possibly could have just lost it in Sector 3. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't look. That is I'm telling you, it's Leclerc's line through 3. That's where he's getting it.
So I've had a look in the what's it called, race director. Cam has had a faster first sector than Leclerc, a slower second sector than Leclerc, and 21.6. This is a 21.7, and a slower third sector than Leclerc. So,
what was Generation A's in comparison?
Generation A was 23, so I think he was faster sector 1. 27. Slower sector 2.
When it's accurate then. Right, anyway, we'll catch back up with the
Slower
action.
sector 3.
But look at that, that's amazingly tight. Tom Gorian has retired from session. Out on track, apparently. Is that Sambo Binder? Oh, no, that's Tom Gorian's car where it's retired on the thingy, isn't it? Yeah. Right, who's on the lap then? Who's on the lap?
Antiv Beacon is running a lap.
Slitted in.
The driver's still yet to actually post the time. Really banking on those mediums still being pretty good.
I think he's DQ'd a couple of them. I think Gislesko's back out there on the softs as well. Yes, he is. I'm just making sure Christo needs to gain 2 places, but he's still on those mediums.
Is this the first time that Sambo gets into Q3 this season?
Not yet. Yeah. Bearing in mind that you can still have to qualify. We'll find out in a minute as he does come down the final corner. And that answers your question. No, Zamo's not making it into Q3.
Well, only just making it into Q3 as well, though.
Mm-hmm. But he made it. I'm not sure because it's actually on the lap. I think he might be. I think he crossed the line before. I think he did, you know. I think he crossed the line before the session ended. I think. He is
Yeah,
now on the
seems to have.
softs. Well, you know, he was on the softs to start with, wasn't he? He went out on the yeah.
The only problem he's got is he will be fighting Christo, who is
Retired.
retired now. He had low fuel mid-track, which could have really hampered someone's
Well,
that time if they were still on them.
is coming up to that Red Bull now. It's not. Oh, it's well off track. See the completely different line. Yay. I mean, he's in. He's going to box it anyway. He is already through. As is Alpaca Carbon. That is the top 10. Going into Q3. TS Leclerc, WRS Cam, Generation A, Anta Beacon, Constant Ryan, Alpaca Carbon, Tom Gorian, Vapid Q, and Kizlesko. And what is the gap between them? Not much, I will tell you that.
Let's have a look.
First Generation 8, I believe, did go through on the soft tyres. So running an alternative
Did.
strategy.
No, he didn't. Top 10 are, apart from Glasgow, are all on the medium combat.
Pretty sure.
Only a second to separate P1 to P10.
Oh no, you're right, yeah. I think he just had them on in the garage and that's why I had the display on.
He would fit not best.
Of course. So, pretty much most people opting to start on the medium. So what would you predict the strategy to be there then, Dom? Do you think it's going to be medium to hards or going to be medium soft? What's the deal here?
There are going to be people that are confident on the hards. I'm not confident on the hards personally. I'll go medium soft if I start on the mediums. But medium hard is possible, and I think some of the top level drivers, the ones that are on the podium week in week out, could take the risk.
That could be anybody inside this top 10, and it has been.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, was it Kizlesko? Not Kizlesko. Who got a podium?
Yeah, I had it on the wrong screen.
Let's go back out early again. Yeah, medium hard or medium soft are the two options, and we'll keep an eye out for those.
Do you think with this being in the desert, this is a track that benefits from Trek Evolution? Do you think being the last over the line could be an advantage tonight?
I haven't really seen too much of people competing that much at this track, but we'll find out, I suppose. I haven't posted a lap time, that late qualifying yet this season at this track. Well, this year on this game at this track, so I couldn't tell you. But from my experience on the last game, it was very much that way. Track evolution was a big part of it. So if that's come across, then yes, we will see a lot of drivers trying to be the last across the line.
Wow. Should be. I mean, I think it should be in the game. I want to make it as realistic as possible. They have to add in track effects as well to that.
Yeah, and I mean, the way that science works too, a quick science lesson, is obviously this isn't like nighttime. The sun is still setting due to laws and stuff on what time events can be held in Bahrain. But
yeah, that's why it's called a dusk race.
Yeah.
Know that.
But what you'll find is the optimum time to set a time, a lap time, isn't actually this time of night. It's first thing in the morning when the track is heating up for the first time. Because it's not hot and blistering.
Why is that?
It's still quite cool.
Surprised you didn't validate the like look dodgy from that camera angle, I'll tell you that. But of course, because Kozlowski moved over, Cam is now first on track, so will be the first to set a lap time in this session. 8 minutes 55 seconds, and we'll find out who is taking pole for round 7. Of course.
Do you say we'll find out who's the fastest around Bahrain? Because I mean, over one lap, technically, that means that they are the fastest. But over a race, they're not quite the fastest. So.
But I said taking pole anyway.
Pole, yeah, I know.
But
I'm sweating, man. It is really warm tonight.
Cam with a 27.3, but are you still banking again? You're still banking onto Beacon, yeah?
Yeah, like I said, he's a good driver. He does struggle with consistency sometimes, but you know, he had a great first quali. I can't see him going anywhere.
for Alpaca Carbon, which
he's still banking on Carbon.
Vapid 27.0. Yeah, for the race win, yeah.
What about for pole?
Leclerc 26.9. I still think Thompson Ryan's got more in the bank than he's shown. Into the 26.9s now for Constant Ryan, as I said that. Generation
You're a bit of a secret fan of Constant Ryan's, aren't you?
I mean, I think he's got great track knowledge. He's a pleasure to watch, the way he uses the track. Generation A with 26.7! There's a step up. Did you see that coming?
No, I mean...
He always just pops one out.
Yeah, he's a quick driver, but...
Who isn't?
He can let himself down with initial lap pace.
Because let's go probably into the box. Where is Ante Beacon? He is purple in 2. Runs very wide on exit.
Oh, this could be close. He's got a red fuel light too, so... Is that enough to get him across the line?
He's going to get a little bit of a tow and all from that Aston.
26.8. Maybe we were both looking at the wrong person. Maybe you were looking at the wrong Williams too.
I said earlier, Generation A is a driver that's been impressing me of late. You can't say I haven't.
Oh no, he's been really impressive, and like I said, a pleasure to race against.
For sure. Who is next? Where's Tom going? Is that going into the pits? Yes, it is. I think everybody will box now. Fresh set, go again.
Usually the case, mate. Run the
final set of sauce.
Yeah, it scrubs them too. If you need to use a set of scrub softs in the race for some reason, then they're there.
Well, I prefer to have a fresh set. Cam is back out, so a new set of boots on for Cam. Not happy with being down in 7th. Is that like a Cardinal going to box? I think he will. No, he's staying out. Is it an improvement? It is, up to 3rd with a 26. 8 or 7. Oh, it's tantalisingly close. Oh, loving it.
Just nudging his teammate out of P3 as well. It is brilliant.
STS Big Will is heading back out. Cam is still on his out lap. What is Ante Beacon going to do? Surely he's going to box. His tyres are 2 lap old. And you already said he was out of fuel earlier, so...
Yeah, He did seem to be on the. He did seem to have a red fuel light, so I think he went twice as well. So
Kemp just about to start his second flying lap attempt.
Carbon does need a faster lap time in on a fresh set of softs, otherwise he is going to fall victim. Oh, never mind. No, he's not, because he doesn't start on these tyres.
No, he doesn't. He starts on the ones that we in QT, mate.
Yeah, I done short qualifying last night, and I completely forgot that Q2 is the set tyre.
Looking
Whereas Cam's slightly down on his previous lap. Only a couple of hundred still.
He's currently on the 27.391. Needs to really hop down into the 26th. But it's such an incredibly tight grid at the moment. It did purple too, apparently. Well, according to
He's
the
7/10 faster.
That's going to put him into the 26ers if he's 7/10 faster.
Taking Leclerc's line as well, which is nice to see other drivers improving by watching other drivers.
Only 6.5, and then you
faster than he
said he
previously was.
He didn't have a good sector one though, right?
No, he was a couple tenths, a couple hundredths. I think it was 800 slower than his previous lap time for sector one.
You see this big wheel out there in Q3 on those softs, coming through sector 2 now. Currently sat in 9th, 27.481. Through the split, he is up.
At 3/10, that's enough to put him P6, no, P8.
He's
Sorry.
very, very tight with his teammate at the moment. Finished strong with a good sector 3 as well.
Yeah,
26,
his,
86, 4. Jesus Christ. I've got to change things. That. It's incredible.
Yeah, Will's a great driver again, someone who I respect a lot on track.
Right, let me catch up.
I-
Who is next? Do you know? By the way, Tom Gorian's on like that. It's going to be one of the Aston Martin now. Out loud. And the Beacon is
Constant
on
Ryan
that.
would be the next. No, Leclerc. No,
Leclerc's on that. Constant Ryan is on that, but he's behind Dante
Ryan is ahead
Beacon.
of Kislesko.
Dante Beacon's
But Beacon seems to be the only driver currently ahead on a lap. He's Generation A in an Alpine. No, he's in the Williams.
Yeah. Unless Big Will's actually going over the line again, which I don't know. Leclerc's just starting here.
Beacon is 2/10 up on his time.
That's gonna be tight.
Much better exit out at the final corner as well. And he puts it pole.
That is not 2/10. You must have had a great final sector there as well. Constant Ryan in there, just behind him as well. 26.5. Who is going to be next? Is it going to be
Alpaca Carbon will be next.
that Generation A behind him? It says, isn't it?
From what it looks like, yes. Yeah. Which is a strange one because if the gap there is
When I
No,
flip
the
back
gap's
to
too far.
that, you were purple in 2. Alpaca Carmen to the line. Can he improve? Does improve his time, not his position.
Finish name goes 3rd.
Pips his teammate. Jesus Christ, look at the times.
Vapid dips into the pits. Jamie also seemed to have a really, really poor exit out of
He's
the
invalidated.
right hander at the
Yeah.
start of that long straight there.
He
So
has invalidated his lap.
that seems to be the end of quali, possibly.
Yeah, if Constant Ryan is not on one, that is qualifying over and done.
Constant Ryan is 8.5
Yeah,
seconds slower.
he's not on the lap. That is over and done. Pole position for tonight goes to Anta Beacon with WRS Cam in 2nd place. Generation A in 3rd place. Would you pick that top 3?
I believe I said Beacon.
I've got to have a quick look at the
Ryan.
final gaps. Not wrong one. Oh damn it! I'm not quick enough. We'll see it in a minute anyway.
Momentarily, yeah.
But that is extremely close all the way throughout the top 10. Real good qualifying session tonight. Drivers really letting loose on each other. Look at it. 1 second Tom going in. It's incredible. 21:06 race start.
Yeah, 6.241, and that is trying to Beacon. And I'm not just saying that as a team, it could possibly be the fastest time I've seen around this track so far on the game in qualifying. There probably has been faster, but personal experience, that seems to be the fastest time.
It's an incredible time, I will have to say. Yeah, she had some incredible speed, especially in that race when it rained and he just drove away from the field. I am genuinely surprised he's not finished the race with a win yet. But we have 3 minutes till we go racing here tonight for round 7 in SFR.
That means that I have 3 minutes to put the kettle on and make myself a beverage. A beverage.
You won't make it back in time. Better.
Oh, bet I will. Bet I will. I'll pull the kettle as little as I need to.
Don't take your mic with you. We don't want to hear it all.
Well, no, wait, I gotta go and grab it as well, which is in the, which is.
Get your mic or something. Don't be doing that all on streaming.
Obviously, you've been on the comms box more than I have this season. What are you expecting to see tonight?
The same thing I expect every night. A fucking fantastic race. That's what I come to expect from SFR because I know the drivers and the talent that's in this league and what they're capable of. You know, I've seen it from season to season, and they're just an amazing bunch of talent. They really are. I mean, there's so many standout races. It's hard to try and pick a favourite. You look at Brazil overseas last year. It was an amazing race. There's been so many. Look,
Yeah, to pick,
I mean,
a race that's been the best this season so far.
I mean, I still.
I don't think you can.
No, not this season, but Vapid Coot last season. Well, I think it was Vapid. That overtake round fucking Zambor, insane. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. Ever. They just stick there in your head. Some of the moments that the drivers in this league are capable of producing. So.
Oh yeah, I've got my own memories from this league as well. Then, last week at Austria, where I stuck it outside of Vapid in turn 6, I believe it was. that will stay with me forever, based just purely upon the fact he's a really, really great driver, and we both gave each other the respect and the room that was required for the move to be made. And again, like you said, the talent is there, and so is the respect. These drivers respect everyone else, and that's what makes SFR insanely brilliant to watch.
Yeah, indeed, but it is 106, so I suspect the races will be getting underway with the formation lap any moment. Brimade.
No, the kettle finished about 10 seconds ago.
We'll
be back in time for the start line.
I know my kettle, son. I know my coffee. Speaking of the start line, Anto Beacon leads the pack away for the formation lap as we get everything in motion and prepare for that magic moment when the lights go out for round 7. So sit back, relax, turn everything up or down, depending on your preference really, I suppose.
Nah, it's SFR. Turn it all the way up, annoy the neighbours. Get a noise complaint.
Feel anticipation. I don't know if it's magic, if it's anticipation. I can feel something in the air tonight. I don't know. I just that qualifying is just seeing some of those lap times and how close the pack's been. It's I'm feeling it. I can get that shit back up.
Right, brew has been made. Now to sit back and enjoy some of the most talented drivers I've ever seen go head to head for 29 laps, I believe.
29 laps here in the desert. Of course,
set everything.
Rapid may have rain dance, but like you said to me earlier in the chat, the chances of it working here slim to none.
And quite interesting as well. I just had a look. Yeah, and talking about tyres, actually, I was about to mention this. Kirby, the only person to start on the hards. Everyone else on the medium compound. So Kirby's looking to go hard, medium. If he can push the hards further, then maybe hard, soft. But yeah, no, because to be fair, starting on the mediums opens up that medium hard or the medium soft strategy, like we mentioned previously. So maybe Kirby's on the wrong strategy here this early on.
I mean, he's a long way back.
We could be wrong. We could be wrong. He could be the guy to win the race tonight based on the strategy call.
I mean, one thing's for sure, if there's a safety car and you're running close to your teammate, you can't both pit, can you, on the same lap? And you know as well as I do that if you don't make that safety car lap on the first lap, you can really lose out. But cars aren't now lining up. We are ready to go racing here. Can we see the lights? Yes, we can. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Long hold, up we go! It's lights out! Round 7 is underway. And Tabika got a
just
great
a brilliant start.
Is that up the outside there? One of the McLarens looking to go up the inside. Oh, Cam is side by side with Anta Beacon. Anta Beacon managing to hold on. Cam gets a nice exit because of that wing there of the Mercedes right underneath the back of that half.
There is a lot of death right at the back of the pack.
There is death at the back of the pack. That looks like an Alpine. I think it's Kislesko. It is. Big Will going slowly. I don't know if he's got damage.
He does have front left end plate damage.
There's an Aston Martin going up the inside of somebody there. I think that was Leclerc on Constant Ryan. I'm not sure. I think it was. It very well may have been. Was Leclerc now looking to move through the field? Whew. There is action everywhere. Beacon still leading. Pulling away from Cam at the moment, still holding on to second, with Generation A trying to chase him down. Alpaca Carbon behind that. Rapid Coot in fifth. TS Leclerc working his way through the pack. Now in behind Rapid Coot in sixth place and closing in. Constant Ryan just behind that with a place change as Big Will loses out to Kirby there. Looks like Christo is lining up Rosberg. Is he going to get that move done? Nice.
Maybe he gets quite lucky there as well.
Whoa, 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 whoa! What's that? That's that Sambo going, gone! A snap there on exit as we go back with a freer breath. Tom Goring has gone round Constant Ryan. I never thought of saying that.
That's big, because let's go Big Will.
Up the inside. Oh! Of Adam Lee. Woof. Crazy stuff. Trying to keep up with this action. If you spot it, call it, and I'll try and flick through it as fast as I can. At the moment, I'm currently watching this Adam Lee, Tom Goring, Constant Ryan.
Yeah, Christo and Adam Lee had a really, really good start, the two of them. I think they both made a position before anyone had even started to move.
Well, Adam Lee had a qualifying ban, let me remind you. He's now sat in seventh.
Exactly, and Christo wasn't that far up. I think he was sat behind Sambo, if anything. So for the fact that they both got, going before anyone else did, great race starts there from the two drivers. Hopefully they can prove why they are in SFR.
SF Beacon has broke DRS already.
The man is a machine.
He really is sometimes. But TS Leclerc is right on the gearbox of Rapid Coot. Look at that gap. He's gonna let him know he's there. Rapid Coot's gonna hold the inside.
Then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What? It's Friday then. Saturday, Sunday. What?
You're gonna go around the long way, Sonny Boy says Rapid. Constant Ryan into the pits.
For a wing change of all things. And a set of hards.
Leclerc on Rapid, he's got the move done through the second DRS into the braking.
Now to catch his teammate and the front of the pack. Again, you don't have to win an outright pace here. Anyone that's inconsistent with track limits will get shown a black and white flag. And, a good stern 3-second time penalty.
Alpaca Carbon, I think it's closing in on Generation A. But all things change now as DRS is now active. Cam was going to be the one who's going to be under severe pressure down this main back straight, as he's the one at the front that's not close enough to pick up DRS, not even to attack, but just to defend with, because he's going to have Generation A all over him.
Yeah, Alpaca Carbon does seem to be making the gap between himself and Generation A just that bit shorter every single time they come around the out of the exit of the corner. So maybe
he's going to have a look. Letting that Williams know he's there. As Christo picks up a penalty for corner cutting. As you say, track limits can factor in with penalties. But great racing at the moment between Alpaca Carbon and Generation A.
Yeah, I mean, Alpaca does a Generation A to Generation A. That's insane.
Generation A's right here on cam now.
And that's allowed Alpaca to join the back of the pack too. And TS Leclerc is now in DRS as well.
This is a full-on, well, I wouldn't say 5-way, but Anthony Beacon is pulling off at a rate of knots at the moment. But, I mean, Rapid's not that far behind, and if these stay battling, Alpaca weaving around there trying to find a way through. Rapid could be on the back of this pack within a few laps.
And the battling,
especially if he gets
into
the DRS.
Beacon.
Alpaca Carbon, 1 point. The gap all over the back of Generation A. Can they get a better exit as we have a yellow flag in Sector 2? I think that's an Alpine round. Generation A. That's a crap camera. Can we get a better one? He's having a look at Cam. Cam's going to send him around the outside. Is he going to get it? I think he is. Generation A moves himself up into second place.
That's a Ferrari. For the Ferrari, Sambo is around.
It is.
Not having such a great race tonight.
Cam having a look, trying to find a way back past Generation A before Alpaca Carbon can pounce on Cam. They are pulling away from Vapid a little bit at the moment. I think it's because they're benefiting from the DRS and Vapid isn't.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think by the looks of things, Adam Lee seems to be closing the gap to Vapid. So I don't think it's just the DRS. I think there are other forces involved here.
Leclerc, he's right there on his teammate. He's going to get him moved on. Up the inside of Alpaca Carbon. The Aston Martin switch position.
From personal experience, they usually seem to be in a party together, so that might have been a call.
As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, I think it's Sambo again.
It does seem to be. He's all the way down to 15th now. Maybe a fresh set of tyres with you.
Moving. And to Beacon though, 2.2 ahead of Generation A. What kind of camera is that? There's Leclerc now closing in on Cam. Cam's still trying to find a way back. He's not prepared to let this fight go with Generation A just yet.
Ooh, Leclerc gets a snap of oversteer into turn 3.
As we go on board with a helicopter. I like that view. It's a good view. You can just see Rapid there in the background. And they say Adam Lee, that gap is coming down. He is closing in on Rapid. It was 1.6 last I saw it, now it's just dropped to 1.2. If he can catch up, Rapid, I think, still falling back from Alpaca Carbon. Over 2 seconds back, so he's going to have no DRS himself soon. Oh yeah, no, not yet. To defend with Adam.
I think Sambo has dropped it.
Again.
At turn 3, he has. Oh, Lord Sambo. I do not want to, refer you to...
Disqualified for turning around for not... There you go, he wasn't even going the wrong way on the track, he was just turning into it. I think that's stupid, because it's not like he drove the car never drove forward, it was always turning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But he did end up like Nikita Mazepin did in his first race. Backwards and in the wall.
Yes, but no point did he drive the wrong way. The car always had steering lock on, so as it was turning back towards track.
Yeah, he got caught unfortunate there. He was, his tyres were in the gravel trap, and if you tried to spin them, you're not really going to get much out, so you can't really spin around.
I'm sorry, but I think that's bullshit. But Cam, Leclerc having a look at the back of that Mercedes there of Cam. Cam's still trying to fight off. Leclerc having a look to the inside. Yeah, just showing that Aston Martin to the mirrors of that Mercedes there, letting him know he's there. Let's have a quick look. He's got a little bit more ERS than what Cam does. Of course, Alpaca Carbon, who's just been sitting there in the background, is... Look at that, 87% Alpaca Carbon's ERS is on. I think if those two play it right, they should just let each other recharge while the other one has a go at each other. But Cam.
Yeah, big wheel now in the DRS of TS Rosberg. Whether or not he can get something done, because the tyre difference is there.
It's not looking likely at this moment.
Maybe those hards just aren't quick enough yet.
Whew. Generation A was thinking about it, Leclerc was thinking about it. This fight is hotting up. Oh, in the meanwhile, Alpaca Carbon has just sat there behind them, watching them fight, going, "You keep at it, boys. I've got fully RS."
Yeah, I mean his teammate TS Leclerc struggling to keep it in the 20s at the moment, and Generation A on a lucky 55% give or take. But Cam is really struggling. He is using everything out of every corner.
Of course, he's got no DRS, so it's his only way of defending, isn't it? Really, to counter it.
Yes, Ross began with fighting.
Rosberg's still holding position. Rosberg had the DRS, so I'm assuming Will must have got in front just before the detection line.
Yeah, then they had a bit of a scratch through turns 1, 2, and 3.
Staying with this battle at the front at the moment. What a battle. Oh, who's that picking up a penalty?
Yes, Big Will is the third victim for track limits.
Cam's still managing to hold it off. That Mercedes has got some hell of a straight line speed. I mean, you said, he's got very, very low ERS. He's got no DRS to defend with. So the fact that Generation A can't get by down that straight. I don't understand why the Generation A is keeping that 57% out. Surely when you get into DRS, you'd open that up as well, put overtake on, and just nail Cam.
So recently I was told that if you're using ERS anywhere outside of 5th gear, if you're using it above 5th gear, you're wasting ERS. And I did have a look at it, and I did do a few laps to figure out if it was true or not, but it seems to be true. And if you've got DRS, because you're accelerating at such a speed, before you even realise you need to hit your ERS button, you're hitting the DRS, and you're also in like 5th or 6th gear, so
yeah, but you would
maybe
use
he's saving
ERS,
it for a later lap.
You would use ERS just on the exit of this final corner though, surely, all the way up to the line before DRS triggers. What? Just to line you up for that maneuver, you know what I mean? Put overtake on. What?
True, he could be saving it. Like you said, he's got a lot of ERS, but so does Alpaca Carbon, and...
I'll tell you what, Adam Lee now is a DRS of Vafiku.
Both of them with the same ERS as well.
And just behind that, there is an Alpine, but
Generation A slips up the inside of turn 4, sticks it in turn 5 and 6.
It's got him moved on, nice. Look at that, oh.
He still has 67% ERS.
Can he break away? Will Cam be able to get him back? Jamie needs to pounce now on Cam.
Yeah, I think what needs to happen is I think Leclerc needs to let through Alpaca Carbon, save up a bit of that ERS, and let Carbon
Jamie's almost got him.
Give Cam a shot.
That was close between the two cars there. Jamie and line up as Kislesko has retired. Is that is on track? That is a VSC. Who's going by that? Where is Rosberg? Is any chat? That's a safety car. We're going to see it. The Aston Martin is coming out. Oh, you go there.
I don't like jinxing things, but Beacon, good call into the pits. TS Leclerc staying out. Not sure if that's the best move.
He wants to go and have a look at that car, that's why. Like, oh, I'll take this Aston to go and see the other Aston while my teammate Aston goes in the pits.
Not too sure if that is the best move, in all honesty.
Only one of them can pit. They must have, like you say, they're in the part, so...
And I
Sexy
thought they'd
ass, ain't it?
prioritise the car ahead, but maybe not.
I am prioritising the car ahead, right from
No,
Leclerc's point
I
of
meant,
view.
I
Woo!
meant, I meant Leclerc, I meant Leclerc and Alpaca. I thought those two would prioritise the car ahead. Adam Lee taking the 5 current stoppers in the top battle, and taking the fact that they pitted as an advantage to stay out behind Jamie too.
It looks so much better than the Mercedes. But yeah, back to the actual race, of course. Not many positions lost, really. Obviously, Adam Lee stayed out, put himself up into second. The only thing is Anti Beacon's gap. This has happened to Anti Beacon before when he's done, he's managed to pull out some really big gaps, and then each time he's lost them to a safety car.
True, but the drivers in front of him have to stop. That is essential at this point, because they haven't swapped onto another tyre yet, even though they have used the minimum required tyre. So with them needing to stop, Antiv Beacon will be able to call that position back, and Leclerc jumps into the pits as well now.
He's got quite a big
give
back.
a bit of
He's got still a 13-second gap to Constant Ryan. I think he will come out just behind Vapid. Is he moving?
He's moving.
Ryan's pitting. Ryan's pitting anyway. Tom Gorin is coming down the start-finish straight now.
And has passed Leclerc.
Yeah, Leclerc's going to come out in 8th place. That gives Adam Lee control of the restart. From a qualifying run to starting this restart in 1st place. But
he obviously knows something we don't about this strategy. Either that, or he really wants a good look at that Aston.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he did. I mean, why would you not? Look at it. It's a
great looking car, to be fair. The only thing that I think they've got wrong is it's a lot more matte coloured in this as compared to the glossy colour in real life.
Well, true, but who cares? I'm just happy it's here. So Leclerc now gone for the hards as well. He's got Tom Gorman and Vapicoot to get through, just to catch back up to his teammate.
Kirby has been pretty smart here, because the safety car could come in this lap. Yeah, big word, they could. And if it does, Kirby is
there's too many cars not in Sector 3 already. Plus, we would have seen the message by now. If I didn't know one pits, it should be next lap.
Yeah, Kirby can.
I wasn't sure whether. I know. I thought he was going to
yeah.
As somebody has just pit. Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby was in a decent position to go soft then. I'm not too sure if he's seen that the hards are a better compound and has just done one lap on the softs to go back onto the hards. He hadn't. He's gone on the mediums. 16 lap on the mediums. It's doable.
The pack's not too far ahead. He should be able to catch up by the time we get round to Sector 3. And hopefully we can go racing again here in round 7.
Yeah, again, I mean, Adam Lee hasn't pitted yet, and it's quite interesting that he hasn't. Whether or not that... I mean, there doesn't seem to be any tyre graining at all so far on his tyres. They have definitely lost their outer edge shine, but they don't seem to have...
Hop on board so everyone can see what you're talking about.
They don't seem to have blistered and started to tear apart the way that they usually do if they really would. So I'm going to guess that his tyres currently are in the mid-40s for the tyre wear.
I think we will see that message.
Yeah, if he is in the mid-40s, he can go another, 30%, give or take 20-odd%, which is a good, 6 laps.
In this lap. And Adam Lee now takes the control of
Now,
this
a lot
restart.
of people question what the move is here.
Whoop, somebody's hit something. Don't know who.
Unfortunately, there is no rule on how slow he goes. You have to be the one to be careful. Smart. But yeah, the question around a track like this is how early do you go?
I mean, some people like to go all the way to the line, don't they? Depends. We'll see.
He's gone out of the apex.
He's gone. He's definitely gone. Ante Beacon went with him though. He's right there.
Yeah, he read that really well.
He's going to try and send one up the inside. How much life is left in those mediums of Adam Lee? Ante Beacon right around the outside of turn 2. And I think Generation 8 may be having a look as well. Gonna look up the inside. Manages to get a better drive out of the corner. Those mediums not had the best of restarts after they've maybe not able to get heat back into them.
I am not 100% sure. Maybe he did go too early.
Because everybody else's tyres are fresh though as well.
Yeah, I think the person who's got the most used tyres after that is Raver, and he's been on them for 7 laps. Those are hard.
Cam is now lining up a look, letting Adam Lee know he is there. Further back, Leclerc not able to make any progress past Vapid Q and Tom. Whoa! Tom Gorian's gone round there. Now he has made some progress, of course. Right.
WRX Cam looking to make that move into the final corner. Not quite able to do it just yet, though.
Vapid already 1.9 back.
PS Leclerc is looking at a move.
Well, Vapid's going to send him to the outside.
Ooh, too early on the throttle there from
Constant
Mr.
Ryan
James himself.
is right there behind on the medium tyre as well. Look at this from Constant Ryan's point of view.
A good drive out of the next few corners could mean that he has that position on the 2 ahead of him.
He's got
come the end of the next DRS
so much more corner speed on those medium tyres, and look how later he can rate almost driving around the outside of the corner. Incredible stuff.
There's another safety car.
Oh, who's gone? It is T.S. Rosberg.
He seems to have dipped it on the
that might save Adam Lee.
Curb on the right hand side. It could do. It really could. You really don't know how much he is loving this. Tom Gorian, drive-through penalty.
Woo. Well, that's a quick way to ruin your race.
Again, he's in the points.
Of course, anybody who finishes is in the points. And of course, fastest lap open to all. That is because we run the MotoGP system.
Possibly the best point scoring system on any calendar.
Of course, everybody will stay out. Oh,
mediums, maybe? Question mark? We will have a fresh set.
Adam Lee's gone onto the hards. Because yes, Leclerc has gone onto the mediums. That's going to give Ante Beacon back the lead of this Grand Prix. Generation 8 remains in second place, with Cam retake it in third. Alpaca Carbon currently sat in fourth. Vapid in fifth. Constant Ryan though will be on a set of mediums, only 3 laps holding himself, and currently in 6th position. Same thing for TS Big Wheel. His tyres aren't that old particularly, and with it being a safety car, you know it's always going to help the life. I mean, how many laps can you get out of those mediums, do you think?
Well, I mean, we've just seen Adam Lee take them about 14 laps or so.
With a safety car, if this stays out for another, they're going to need to run them another 10 laps after. If this comes in on 19, they'll have 10 racing laps.
You know what's mental as well?
I don't think
is anyone that's currently on the softs. The softs will make 9 laps.
Well, yeah, we are under.
That is including a safety car lap as well.
But it does depend on what. I mean, we might not. I don't think we're going to make it to 19 I think we'll be racing next lap. Unless is that contact? Somebody just gone round. Tom
Gordon seems to have spun and retired.
Which means everybody will now be. Yeah, they'll be in the next lap.
Interesting. The softs might not go, but it could open fastest lap for Rover.
Very much so. Of course, with the points being so close and everybody being stacked up after the safety car, Rover's in good spot to get that fastest lap.
Maybe he's going for the mediums.
Yep, onto the medium switch it is for Adam Lee.
Is this how you predicted this race would go? Or far from it?
I wasn't hoping for well, maybe the one safety car because I wanted to see it, but not 2. I was hoping we could have got racing. It's unfortunate that we only managed to get 2 or 3 laps back in before the safety car was back out. But I think we've seen some great on-track action. You know, I mean, the battle between the front 4, or the 2nd to 5th, has been amazing. Obviously, Hunter Beacon has been pulling those gaps at the moment throughout this race. Has been looking quite dominant, but each time, this is the 2nd time now he's been hammered by the safety car, and each time it's less laps he's got left to do it in again.
Yeah, he took. To be fair, he took the first few laps of the race in his stride and really put the gap on the following cars, but on the worn tyres, I don't think it's that easy. Especially on hards, they're going to be so cold restart.
We should get the message. Lights are out. Safety car is in. Enter Beacon to restart the 2nd time. Do you think he's going to go earlier?
I don't think he will. I think based on the compound of time, he's gone really early actually.
He has.
Is it enough though?
Time lapse to bloody perfection, isn't it? But the others went with him though, that's the thing. He didn't catch anybody out with it.
Generation A and Cam are going to battle, so that is going to leave Beacon with.
As we look back, Big Will, or is that Leclerc making moves?
Or even making moves on the softs as well. Is it enough to catch Leclerc?
All go.
Big Will looking at Krista as well now, will he go around the outside?
Big Will is on the softer compound as well.
No, he's looking at switchback though.
Oh!
Gets it done.
Is that Leclerc going to follow him through?
Magnificently.
Oh,
goes on the outside.
Not. Oh, there's contact. He's still on the outside.
That is magical.
That is brown trousers, my friend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As Christo has gone round. We look there. Whew, crazy action back there. You hop back up to
Yeah,
the front. Anton Deacon's already pulled a second. Generation 8 still there trying to hunt back down on Cam again. Alpaca Carbon currently sitting in 4th. I mean, that's Vapid Coot again within a few laps has already been dropped by the top 4.
Yeah, he seems to be struggling tonight. I don't know if he's had this issue all season. I haven't really seen him too much. But for tonight, for definite, he seems to be struggling to keep with what some may call the big boys.
Thompson Ryan just behind him. Of course, he's on a softer compound. Not having the best of nights himself. Down in 6th
No, but
place
there is some
currently.
decent points coming the Williams' way. And if he can needing to get that win, unfortunately, his teammate, myself, cannot make it tonight.
It's good to see that, because obviously I know Constant Ryan last season didn't have a teammate, so this season they're a bit of backup and it gives them a genuine shot at the constructors.
Yeah, and the constructors itself, from what I've seen, has been very, very close. Probably just as close as some of the racing here tonight. I mean, anyone can win any race, if I'm not mistaken, and it'll put them, or any team as well, can win any race, and it can put them ahead, so it is close.
Gonna send Ryan around the outside.
Yes, Leclerc off the inside of TS Big World, both of them respectful, both of them know each other and how each other drive, so it was always going to be a Leclerc favour there.
Constant Ryan and Rapid still going at it. I don't think it'll be too long before TS Leclerc arrives on the back end of this battle.
I'm not going to lie, I was expecting a lot more track limits penalties from more drivers tonight.
Ryan's gonna get, oh, he had to back off. He got a lot better exit, but that's gonna bring, look at Leclerc, he's homing in on Constant Ryan. Constant Ryan really being held up, I think, by Vapid at the moment, who is really struggling. We have a yellow flag.
Alpaca's retired.
No, he's not retired, he's binned it, what he's done. That is a major bin.
Oh, this could open up a whole new can of worms. That's a safety car.
It's in sector 3, it's just off the track as you come around that right hander. Constant Ryan, I think he's got past Rapid, but so did Leclerc at the same time. Whoa, that was incredible.
Again, two very big heavy hitters from last season. TS Leclerc, great driver. Constant Ryan, last season's champion, if I'm not mistaken.
In the background, I think that was Big Will getting past Rapid as well. If Leclerc does get past Ryan, setting a purple sector in the process. And that's Adam Lee getting involved with Vapid Coot. Got the move done
I'm
as well.
intrigued as to whether or not he has damage. He does not seem to have any damage at all.
He's got right back at the moment. Generation A still within half a second of Cam. Still trying to find a way past. 3.8 gap back to TS Leclerc. And then proceeds the biggest battle we have on track. Constant Ryan, TS Big Will, Adam Lee. Adam Lee's on 3-lap all mediums.
Yeah, this should work in his favour, to be fair.
Everybody of course does have DRS from everybody else as TS Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the race.
However, in the process, he has dropped himself down to a very, very small amount of DRS. So defending this next one from Constant Ryan could be a bit harder than expected.
Generation A still not able to find a way past it. Right there. Just cannot make it work. Adam Lee closing in on TES Big Will. Adam Lee runs wide, and I think he may have just picked up a penalty. I'm not sure.
He did, 3-second time penalty. Which obviously, if he has been forced wide, then he can...
No, he just ran wide, mate. No.
Ah, okay.
He does have DRS on Big Will. Go to the inside. I think he's got the move done. Yeah, he has. Big Will, hold your tires.
Yeah, TS Leclerc purple sector 2 again.
Big Will will not give that up without a fight. That is for sure. Although his tires, do you think he can make it to the end?
Oh,
Generation A is going for the move on Cam, and he gets it done. Cam counter.
Adam Lee and Big Will fighting for position.
Unable
The
to do
victor seemed
there.
to be... The victor of that battle originally was TS Big Will, but he seemed to have got a bit of a spinner out of turn 3, and maybe it is time to swap those tyres over.
Adam Lee has got his sights set next on Constant Ryan. That will not be an easy conquest. WRS Cam trying to find a way back. As I think
Kirby's out.
TM Kirby is out, and it is a safety
And it's
car.
a safety car.
It's a late safety car. Oh, are we going to see someone to the soft maneuvers now?
I would be very surprised if
Because that's
no
going to
one.
bunch everybody up. TS Leclerc is going to be sat there on those mediums, and Adam Lee as well. Those cold tyres from 10 laps old, and same for the hards, are going to be a lot harder to warm up than what Leclerc's and what Adam Lee's are. Those two cars are going to be monstrous off the restart.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if no one stops to the softs here. Beacon doesn't. Leclerc does. Leclerc is going for softs by the looks of things.
So is Constant Ryan, so is Adam Lee, so is TES Big Will, and Vapid Q. Is that a mistake by the front three?
Yeah, too foolish of them to think that anything else was going to happen there. The softs were always the option, and a lot of drivers in the top 3, all with the rights to stop. So maybe, just maybe, it was a little too enthusiastic by those top 3 that people behind weren't going to stop.
We will find out.
So these are the top 3, and they have been battling on the sides for a fair while, so I mean, the option to come into pit for softs, whilst it is going to drop them, a few positions, they weren't the slowest in qualifying, so I mean, they could get the positions back on the softs if they treat them right.
By the time this comes in, you're only going to have a certain amount of laps, so... And
you need a minimum of 3 laps worth of racing, but the DRS will start on the final lap.
There's only a few places where you can really push it. I know the softs are going to make you feel like you're on top of the world and you've got grip for days compared to the car at the side of you. But if there's only 3 laps and the car in front of you can defend and they know how to defend, it's never an easy challenge just because you're on fresher tyres.
Correct. Also, I mean, you got to look at the other facts of the race. I mean, the track is fairly wide in itself. You can go too wide in almost every corner. None of the top 3 come in again.
I don't think they will now. I think that'll be it. Everybody else is on the soft tyres. Safety cap, the two at the back should catch up this lap. Should be in.
I think the only person that's safe from the soft tyres would be Andy Beacon, because CS Leclerc has to pass Cam and has to pass Generation A to get into contention with battling Beacon. And if both those cars give up a fight, then to get to Beacon is not an easy task, and then to get past him won't be an easy task at all either. So
yes, but it's not. I mean, it depends if he gets it right. Like I said, you know, being on the hard compound and that at 13 laps old, once the safety car's out, to get them back up to temperature and get the heat in them you need is very hard to do for the exact timing of the restart.
yeah, you've got to really keep them warm for the duration of the safety car, and that's not an easy thing to do either. Because it could be 3-4 laps, and if it is that long, then you know you put a load of wear on the tyres that you don't really need. But if it is only out for a lap, 2 laps, then and you decided, oh yeah, I'll heat on the last lap, and predicted for 3 laps, then your tyres are going to be stone cold on the restart. So
For sure, I think the safety car will be in. Lights go out. Anti-Beacon with his second restart from a safety car of the night. Now he went really early last time. If you had to do a restart more than once, would you change how you do it, or would you do it exactly the same both times?
yeah, no, I'd definitely change it. Anti-Beacon's been given a 5-second time penalty.
He's gone again. I think there might have been. Was it with Generation A?
It was, yeah. He got a bit too enthusiastic on the start and pulled up alongside a warning.
Generation A didn't actually get one, I don't think.
No, he didn't, and I can see Anti-Beacon getting rid of that 5 seconds. So either which way, if he does stay in front and doesn't pick up a 3-second time penalty.
Leclerc on this restart on the softs is going to be looking. Oh, bit a little bit of contact. Still trying. Brave. He went there. That'd be fucking.
He is taking a lot of risks here.
Nice. You get better exit speed. No, Cam's still able to hold him off. Of course, he's got Constant Ryan just behind himself. All those soft runners looking to pound. Having a look, showing that to the mirrors of Cam there. Cam is falling away, and more is having to defend from Leclerc. Whereas I think Leclerc is going to get him. They are side by side, and look at Constant Ryan as well. Straight into the slipstream of Leclerc. That is going to let the Red Bull through on the inside as well. Adam Lee is going to sneak through there as well. Look how close it is. They are nose to tail down the start-finish line. Who is coming out on top? Cam's going to try and go back. Whew. It's still 3 abreast. Oh, wow. What am I seeing? This is amazing.
Right, and what you haven't noticed as well yet is Anti-Beacon has put that famous, from tonight anyway, the famous 1.5 give or take on Generation A.
But, of course, Leclerc in the meantime is hunting down. I'm not taking my eyes off of this incredible action at the moment. But Leclerc is hunting down Generation A, and if you can just keep your eye on that. While I am watching this Adam Lee, Constant Ryan, WRS Cam. Insane battle that's happening. Adam Lee somehow finding his way to the front of that battle. Of course, I think Leclerc's going to get a better drive out.
He
of
did get
the
a better
corner.
drive, and we seem
have
to
a
have
yellow
lost
flag.
Raver.
Don't think we'll see any more safety cars or anything. But here we go, down the start, finish straight. Who's going to get who here? Everybody looking at everybody.
Generation 8, even on those hard tyres, still managed to keep with TS Leclerc. I don't quite know what's going on there, but he is in DRS.
He is now 1.7 behind. But the thing is, Anton Beacon's got a penalty.
He does, but again, it could be appealable, and it could come back to give him that win. Especially under the circumstances that Generation 8 was getting too greedy too early under the safety car restart. I mean, the rule is that you follow the driver ahead, and from what I saw, Anton Beacon didn't give a cue that he was going to go any earlier, so
1.1
not
now,
that far
gap.
behind.
Are we going to see it on a last lap showdown between TS Leclerc and Anton Beacon? Adam Lee currently though in third position, but also in possession of penalties. Generation 8 dropping back. Constant Ryan will be closing in on Generation 8. I don't want to take my eye off of this battle at the front as they go on to the final lap. Yes, Leclerc takes fastest lap of the race for the moment. There is action there in the background. TS Leclerc not able to find a way through just yet. Still one more DRS for them to go up the hill. Is he going to be able to get alongside? Look for better traction. Oh, there's contact there, and then there was a bit of a car come flying off.
Yeah, that seems to be Leclerc's front right end plate. That could hemorrhage his whole battle here. I don't think I saw anything wrong with that. I think he was a little bit too ambitious on a car that was already pulling across the track. He'd seen the move being made, and yeah.
Have a look in the background. Constant Ryan. He's right there now on his teammate. I don't know whether his teammate will fight it or not, but they both have DRS. They hop back to the front. Adam Lee, oh, this is insane. Adam Lee is right up there with TS Leclerc. Look at this battle. Generation 8, they're all there.
Looking to add to it.
How is Generation 8 coming back on the hard? How is this happening?
And Anton Beacon crosses the line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix, except will be dropped down to provisional fourth. Down to fourth.
That is insane. There's not even half a second between the top three over the line.
Very unlucky there from Anton Beacon. I don't think he deserved that 5-second time penalty, and I think it will be removed so that the sheets state that he gets that win.
Adam Lee picks up driver of the day. I mean,
he is the man that came from a qualifying ban back of the grid to P4, I believe. So
I believe that is where, yeah, because he did have a penalty. I think he did finish P3 on track, but of course, TS Leclerc, a race winner yet again. Incredible scenes at the end of that race. I'm speechless as to how close that was between some of the cars over the line. Amazing race tonight. And as always from these guys, TS Leclerc with the race win, Generation 8 in second, Constant Ryan in third, another double podium for the Williams boys. Insane stuff. Anton Beacon dropping to fourth with the penalty. Obviously we'll see the outcome of that later on in the week, but for the time being, let's get the guys in for the podium questions.
I think I've got everyone.
Guys, please do tick the box. This time we need to tick the box. But what a race. Rounding out the top 10 there was insane. Do we have everybody?
We seem to. We just go into the party and double check. Constance here, Generation 8 and TS Leclerc are all in the comms booth.
Awesomeness. Well, we'll start with third place. Do you want to do it, Dan?
Yeah, if I remember who it was, Constance, wasn't it?
Or Constance Ryan, yep.
Yeah. Again, as Stacey said, make sure audios are all included. Just make sure that we can hear you in the stream.
Yep.
So, congratulations on a podium. Double Williams podium. Tell me your race one.
Not ideal. Got rear wing damage into turn 1, and I also got front wing damage, but it never showed up. I was wondering why everyone was driving past me. So yeah, it wasn't ideal. I was drifting through the whole race, but yeah, I just kept with it and never gave up and kept my head. Got very hairy at the end there. Sorry to Cam, I gave him a bit of a tap on the rear end, and I got past him. So kind of sorry, I didn't mean to hit him that way. Understand if you take that was my fault. But yeah, considering where I was in the middle of the race, it was good. Good recovery, to be honest. Didn't really have the time to get used to this new handling. I like how it feels, but I just didn't have any time to play it this week. But P3, I'll take that. Happy enough with that. A lot of fun, a lot of carnage, a lot of people diving on each other's insides. It was a really great race, to be honest. So yeah, well done to everyone. Well, Generation as well, double Williams podium again. So I'll take that.
Yeah, and obviously Generation A has really picked up over the past couple of weeks. Has he taken you by surprise? You've gone from winning quite a fair few races now to competing with your teammate, which is something from my understanding you didn't have last season. So has he taken you by surprise?
No. I knew he was good before, so I'm not really surprised at all, to be honest. It's nice to have a good teammate because it's just nice to have someone to push you along, but also the same guy too. There's no bitter rivalry. I think we get on very well, so that's the important thing. Just trying to get to constructors, and yeah, if I'm ever in a position where he's going to win the race, I'll definitely think of the team in that way. But yeah, I'm delighted to have a good teammate, to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously we were under safety car for a while in that race. We worried making a pit stop or not making a pit stop with other people behind you was going to impact your race in comparison to theirs?
A little bit. I think I was down on straight line speed a bit, but I was mega through the corners, so I felt like on a no man's land a bit. But like I said, I haven't the new build. I have to work out the setups first and see how that works first. Just kind of trying to at least maintain where I was and maybe move forward and hopefully someone gets a penalty or something. Just see what happens. I wasn't really. This is kind of more a damage limitation. No, it is a good limitation. Really.
Well, it was really good to watch. I don't think we could keep our eyes off of battles that were going on anywhere in that track today. But congratulations from me. You got anything?
No, man. As always, great performance, great drive. Good to see you back on the podium. Of course, you have a habit of getting a good result after a bad one, and we know last week didn't go too well for you, so it's good to see you back on form. I hope you get along well with the changes in the update. As you say, the cars have changed since the last time we did race, so same for everybody though. They all need to get used to it. But congratulations on being back on the podium, and again, with your teammate up here, good for the constructors. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Hashtag fanboy.
Well, let's move on to second place, and of course, in the other Williams, Generation A back on the podium again. Welcome back, and another second place for yourself. How do you feel about that one? I think, all over racing.
Well, it was a fun race. I did really enjoy it. First lap, well, the restart, I just had a terrible start. Ryan did get me off the line, but then I think he got rear-ended into me, and I did unfortunately give him damage. So I kind of feel bad about that because he went all the way back down the field. But my main plan was to stick with Cam because I know his pace around this track is very well. So it was just stick with him, stay within DRS, try to make a move, which I did, and was going to try pull away, but I knew his pace was around similar to mine, so didn't really try to push much to the point where I didn't really spin out. Of course, the safety car came out about 2 or 3 times. First one I was excited about because I was able to go into the fresh cards, and then the second one I decided to stay out to the end on my hards, saw everyone going on softs, and
That was the third one.
it wasn't fun to watch everyone slowly catch me from behind. I was very scared. Of course, I saw Cam get absolutely gobbled up by everyone. And then I got wing damage, I think, because he was going very slow, and it nearly got him, but still gotta wait for that next win, I guess.
Must have been quite a nerve-wracking experience on that final safety car though, with all those staff runners and you being there on the odds trying to make it to the end. Were they difficult to get back up to temperature on that final restart?
I mean, the first lap after the safety car, my tyres were still fairly cold because I didn't do enough weaving, and Beacon's launch caught me by surprise, so the first few turns were quite a struggle because my tyre wear was fairly cold, especially the rear ends because I was just losing the back end in the second sector, but the last 2 laps they started to pick up speed, so I really started going for it, and nearly crashed multiple times while pushing, but thankfully I didn't, so I'm happy with P2 again, 3rd time in a row, so just gotta keep it up, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you back on the podium, great to have you fighting in the top for the battles. It's great entertainment for us all to watch. We love to see your team doing well. Both Williams double podium today. Congratulations, both of you. Well done.
Thank you.
So moving on to our race winner, T.E.S. Leclerc. Jamie, what a race that was. Some amazingly close racing throughout. You dropping back on the softs, having to work your way back through. I mean, you can pick moments galore. Okay.
Quite entertaining. Huh?
Okay, well, I haven't ever code. I don't know if I'm still in the party. We are still live.
You are still in the party, yeah.
That's enough.
And we are still live, yeah. Yeah, pretty entertaining race, pretty manic race as well. Don't really know where to begin, to be honest. I messed my final whip up in Q3, so started 7th. And just kept it clean, basically. Didn't get any warnings, so was never in threat for a penalty. Yeah, it was just felt like I was, I didn't mean to be rude to everyone else, but I felt I was the quickest driver out there tonight.
Pick up that fast lap.
Just a shame I couldn't get some moves in quicker earlier on in the race, and it might have been a bit different. But yeah, still happy.
Earlier on in the race, was that team orders? Did Alpaca let you through there? Obviously, when you were sat there and you had Generation A and Cam in that battle right in front of you, it must have been infuriating because we could see you weaving around behind, showing your car to the mirrors, you know, trying to look for any little mistake they made in front of you, ready to pounce. And it just, the racing was so clean and crisp that that mistake never came.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it team orders, but Michael did let through. He saw how much I was behind him, so moved out of the way and actually pulled us both up closer to them. I think we were dropping vapid at the time as well. So you could call it team order, but I wouldn't say it was. Let the faster car through. So
teamwork.
yeah. Massive shout out to Alpaca for he likes his Aston Martins, as do I. So yeah, felt like we had a really good first stint, and then unfortunately Alpaca lost it towards the end. It could have been a double Aston Martin podium, but there's always next time.
Yeah, unfortunately to drop it that close to the end of a race, you never want to see it go that way.
No, but other than that, it was a really good race. From
Yeah.
my point of view.
From our point of view as well, there was some amazingly close racing. I mean, qualifying the times was so immensely close at times. It was incredible. I mean, I know we came there pre-season and the track knowledge. I mean, like watching you coming down onto the back straight just before the start finish. You're used to the track all the way down. You literally had a wheel over the line, and you're comparing. You know, it's interesting to watch when you get to see it and you compare it to the other drivers. And you know, we thoroughly enjoyed the show tonight. Not just you and the other podium drivers, but everybody. You know, it's been great racing throughout. So none of the drivers should be ashamed of it.
Yeah, it was really good racing, and we think this race was good. We've got Brazil next week, so yeah, really looking forward to the next few races.
That was an immense race last season, that's for sure. But before we get to Brazil, we will be back on Monday night with Tier 2 at Australia. So definitely do not forget to tune in for that. That will be one hell of a race. Again, congratulations Leclerc, congratulations Generation 8, congratulations Constant Ryan, and of course, thank you all very much for watching tonight. We will be back on Monday night, as I said, with our Tier 2 boys. This has been SFR, where competition is key. Thank you very much, and good night.